Welcome, everyone, and we're back for the first of our daily shows. This is Proline website. You can see the three guys on the show right now. We'll probably be here each and every day. We're going to have Scott join us and maybe some guests along the way. This is short and sweet. We're going to probably be on for about 10 or 15 minutes each day, and then we'll have a weekend show that'll last a little bit longer. That'll be up on Friday. Today you got Dave and Al. We're going to start off with a college game in the Big Ten. Wisconsin and Michigan State. Now, Michigan State, of course, with Tom Izzo, their perennial Final 8, Final 4 team. Amazing how well he's done getting there. They started off a little bit slow this year, but their non-conference schedule's been very tough. They're kind of toughening up the kids, I think. I think that's his plan. This is conference time, though, and we're looking at, looks like I'm looking at the line here. We're looking at Michigan State currently 4-point favorite in this game. What do you guys see here?
Jim, I hope that was his plan to toughen up his kids. I hope it wasn't to go 10-5 his first 15 games because they've really looked, like crap. But I'm going to step out and take Michigan State in this ball game. The Spartans over the years have been dominant at home when priced from -4 to -10.5 points. There are 48 wins and 11 losses against the spread in that situation. Of course, right now, as we record this, the line is -4. And Michigan State also falls into a contrarian system of mine that's 140 wins against 83 losses. And this series has also been dominated by the home team. The home team, when Michigan State and Wisconsin play, is 22-14 against the spread. And Wisconsin, its last 5 in East Lansing, 0-5 straight up and against the spread. So I'm going to take Michigan State and lay the points here. What do you think, Dave?
Well, it seems like a spot where Michigan State should bounce back. They're up the loss to Penn State, which they did not play well. They're coming home and facing a Wisconsin team that's not nearly as good on the road as they are at home. We saw Wisconsin come out here to Las Vegas and have problems with the Rebels. So on paper, it looks like it's a spot where Michigan State ought to do well. The problem is there's a few things wrong with this Michigan State team right now. One is that for whatever reason they have not developed the chemistry that you usually see on court with an Izzo team. Now they probably will at some point, as his teams have a tendency to get better as the season goes along. But it's just not there right now for them. They're also really having problems at the foul line. I mean, it's basically a 50-50 prop whether it's going to go in or not when this team shoots a free throw. So there are some problems with Michigan State that would make me less than confident about taking them here. I also think it's a spot where it kind of looks easy to take Michigan State. Cheap number, it opened 3. It's going up a little bit, 3.5, now 4. I have a feeling Wisconsin's going to slip in under the number tonight in this basketball game. I can tell you this, it's before we move along, let me throw in a little promotional note here. This is not a game that I'm using as a conference game of the year, that's for sure. But I have my first 3 college basketball conference games of the year going this week. The first of them is going to be tomorrow night, a game I absolutely love. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give out all 3 of these games for $33, not $33 a piece. $33 for all 3 games. That's going to stretch through Saturday. Plus, anybody who signs up is going to be locked in to get a guaranteed rate on the rest of my college conference games of the year for the entire season. So it's a good offer. 1-866-841-1665 is the number to call. Make sure and call right away. 1-866-841-1665. This is those of you who like really big plays. Conference games of the year are obviously very big plays. The first one going tomorrow. Make sure and sign up today. 1-866-841-1665. Jim, I'll lean to Wisconsin plus the points of this game. It's not a strong take for me.
I can see both your points here. The Big Ten, I like taking the short-priced home court favorites, but I'm a little nervous about what Dave said about the way Izzo's team's playing right now. But what I do like, you got the defenses playing tough for Michigan State. They're on a 9-1 run under the total, and I'm going to side with the under in this spot. I'm looking at 122 on this. I'm going to go under the total. Hope it doesn't go into overtime because you know what that means. As far as promotion is concerned, I've got a 3-team NBA parlay. It's guaranteed over the next 7 days. They're absolutely free. It's only $10, 10 small grocery dollars. 3-team parlay, guaranteed that the next 7 days are free. Call the number 1-866-841-1655. Now we're going to move on to the pros. We've got the Knicks playing the Blazers. New York Knicks have been a surprise running and gunning for the coach Mike D'Antonio. 10-7 at home, 11-8 on the road. This is the third game in four. The third game in 4 on the West Coast trip. They're off after a 3-8 start. The Knicks are 18-7. Portland had its 8-game win streaks end in an overtime loss to the Heat, 107-100, guys.
Yeah,
well, you know, I was
overtime. That was an overtime game.
That was overtime.
They gave Miami a really good battle in that game. The Knicks did not play well in their game with the Lakers. You know, the interesting thing about the Knicks, they may run the best pick and roll in the league. Raymond Felton and Amari Stoudemire, what a combination this is. They look like they've been playing together for years. Reality is they're new teammates. They've only played this handful of games together. So D'Antoni's got some stuff working there with the Knicks. But, you know, the longer these teams stay on the West Coast, the tougher it gets, I think, to take them. Fatigue can set in. They're a long way from home. I have a feeling it looks like a spot where you want to grab the Knicks because they've played so well lately for the most part. They've been a good road team. But I just call it a gut feeling. I think Portland's going to get there tonight by about 9 or 10 points. Again, it's not a game I'm using on the surface. I do have a couple of NBA games I like a little bit tonight. But I would lean to Portland here. But not with a lot of confidence, Al.
Well, you know, I watched the end of that Portland-Miami game, and Portland had a 9-point lead with just a couple minutes left, and then they got outscored 9-0, and before you knew it was overtime, and they lose by 7 as a 5-point dog. I don't like taking teams after losses like that. I think you have an emotional hangover when you're about to beat the best team in the league, and you can't even hold on to a 9-point lead with a minute or two left. So. And I definitely don't want to lay points with that kind of team. So I'm going to look to take the New York Knicks here. I'm also, my confidence is also buoyed by the fact that New York this season, 9-0 against a spread on the road when priced from plus 4.5 to minus 3 points. Currently, they're either plus 4 or plus 4.5, so they fall within that 7.5 point range. So I'm going to step in. I'm going to take New York here. And for guys who want to get on board, I'm known as a big play handicapper, and right now you can get 3 free days. That's right, nothing to purchase, just absolutely free. 3 free days of all my big plays. Call toll free, 866-896-1628. You get 3 free days, all my big plays, pro and college basketball, 866-896-1628. Jim, do you have any thoughts on this ball game in the NBA?
I actually do, Al. I'm going to side with the Blazers here. Coming back, great effort. They have to be happy with the effort that they put up with against the Heat. Unhappy, of course, with the loss, but they'll be buoyed by the home crowd. The Knicks are obviously going to be a little fatigued. I'm looking for the Heat to bounce back here, or not the Heat to bounce back, but the Blazers to bounce back here with a big win, actually, and cover the 4-point spread. Again, I have a 3-team NBA parlay that's guaranteed. The next 7 days are free. It's only $10. Just make a call, 1-866-841-1655. I'd like to throw out a congratulations to Auburn Tigers for winning the national championship. Interesting game against Oregon. Oregon, a running team, could not run. Obviously, the SEC just has athletes that are bigger, stronger, faster, and besides that, they're good. So it's tough to beat them. You guys have any thoughts on that game?
Well, my obvious thought is that, you know, if you're a sharp bettor and you took Oregon plus 3, you pushed. And then all the squares followed and took Oregon at +2, +1, pick 'em. By game time yesterday, the line was Oregon -1, -1.5. But, what I just don't understand, if you liked Oregon, you could have bet on them at +3 anytime from December 10th all the way up until January 8th. So there was no reason to wait and bet on Oregon at +2 on January 9th or at +1 on game day. I think you're a square if you don't take Oregon +3 anytime in that 3.5-week period, Dave.
A couple of quick thoughts. Number one, I'm still trying to figure out how in an indoor stadium the playing field was as slippery as it was. It was bizarre. There were players slipping all over the field on both teams. Didn't impact the result of the game, but just some weird stuff there. And, of course, the weird play that set up the game-winning field goal. That was a strange game because Auburn really dominated Oregon in the game. And yet there's a real possibility they go into overtime if it's not for kind of a fluky play. I just want to know when's the Auburn-TCU game taking place, the last two unbeatens. That should be a good football game, shouldn't it? Oh, wait, they don't do it that way in college football.
It's absolutely crazy that they wait that long between the end of the season and this game. It's almost like saying in the NFL, let's wait till like April or May to play Super Bowl. I mean, give me a break. If you want these guys to be sharp, and I don't know, they only practice like 15 times. I don't know if that's by regulation or what it is, but they're 30-some, 40-some days off, and you expect to be sharp? I don't get it. I think it's really a fraud. It's a farce that we have to be fed that kind of garbage. These teams were sharp a month ago, 6 weeks ago, and they should have played much sooner than this, and we'd have had a much better football game.
Well, all I'm saying is this.
Jim.
I just go ahead, Al.
No, I was going to just, Jim, that goes right into your point that you like to make all the time about how this isn't about finding the best team. It's just about money. If they really cared about putting the, best team, on the, on that stage, they would play the game at the latest January 2nd, but they're just interested in TV ratings and money and promotion. And so you put the game out on January 10th. Dave?
I just say, look, it's the way it is in college football. The good thing is we got real games that mean something in the National Football League this weekend. College basketball is now in center stage, and all these games count. And guess what? At the end of the season, they'll crown an actual national champion in college basketball.
I'm being told I have to wrap this up. We're running too long. We're going to be back here again tomorrow, so come back. Stay tuned. We're going to do this each and every day, except, of course, on the weekends. But we've got some big games to talk about coming up on the weekend, so come back tomorrow. We'll do a little bit of that, more college and pro basketball as well. Thank you, everybody.
See ya.